Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. So guys, today we will be continuing with our Langgraph playlist, and yes, we are doing good job in our agentic applications. We have covered a lot of topics, and guys, these many topics are actually very much enough to build any application. But in order to learn a framework and be more valuable and develop little more hard applications which require little more visualization inside, we could probably just get this part done. So now guys, let's just start for today's lecture. So guys, first of all, last time I showed you how to develop a React agent. So today we won't be going into React and all. Today we'll be mostly focusing on, sorry, sharing, sorry guys. So today guys, mostly we'll be focusing on basics only, because guys, Langgraph is little difficult to understand in terms of its coding capabilities, and but once you master it, you won't switch to any other framework, and you don't need any other framework as well. That's also true. But guys, understanding the basics is very important. So guys, today we'll be creating a simple chatbot. Now what that chatbot is going to do, it's going to take input from user, it's going to have an LLM, and it's going to give you a response. Now this portion is pretty much basic, nothing advanced, but all this would be orchestrated with the help of Langgraph. So see, Langgraph is been talking about this in the last lecture as well. It is nothing but it is a Python package, and it is obviously more than a Python package, but for today you can understand it as a Python package that's going to help me develop agents which are in the form of a graph. Okay, so essentially your graph has two components. One are nodes and another one are edges. So guys, nodes are nothing but these are Python functions. These are Python functions. And guys, what are edges? Edges are essentially the way your nodes are connected, right? The way your nodes are connected. So guys, just try to understand this portion. This is very important, because if you can't understand this, then it would become very difficult. So guys, let's just move to the code, and then obviously I have my board as well, as in when anything would be required, I'll come and explain you over here. So guys, I've been telling you that we'll be creating a basic chatbot. So some basic imports you need to do, guys, just always start with them. Now the first thing is class state, in which we are inheriting type dict. So type dict we are importing from typing extensions, and then guys, we are just saying messages, it's annotated list add messages. Now guys, this looks very abstract, right? I mean, it looks at least abstract to me, but let's go to the basics of Langgraph and try to understand that what we need to start with. So whenever we are starting building some stuff with Langgraph, we need to define the state. Okay, state in simple terms, at least as of now, you can consider it as input schema, right? So you can consider it as input schema. Now what is happening, from take typing import annotated, from typing extensions import type dict, from Langgraph import state graph, start and end. So guys, what are start and end? What you're thinking, right? So whenever you will start your graph, it will start from a start node, and when you will end your graph, it would have an end node. From Langgraph dot messages add messages. Now what is happening over here, guys? This is a little abstract representation, but that's probably okay. I'll show you. So guys, right now we're using a messages as a list. So what will happen is, your human message would be pushed to whom? LLM. And then your LLM will give you what? It will give you an AI message. We have been talking about this. And guys, this AI message then will be appended. So we have been talking a lot about this, right? Because we need some sort of data structure in order to manage our output formats better, and add messages is something which Langgraph suggests us to use. It's little abstract representation, but the main thing which it solves is that it helps you append a text inside a list, which would be useful, right? Because you would need to append a lot of stuff. In the last lecture, I also have shown you some bit of that part. So, but that's okay for the time being. Just understand that we are using add messages because we need to just we are using add messages, add underscore messages, so that we are able to append text inside our list. Okay, now we are good till here. Now class state type dict, I just told you we are inheriting type dict class. And then guys, messages annotated list. Okay, so this is like it's just the idea that we'll be having a list and we'll keep on appending in it. Simple. Now guys, the first thing is we are starting out with this line, graph builder state graph state. So guys, always remember one thing: whenever you're trying to create this system, we need to start with creating a state. So state graph, and what is our main data type which we'll be using? List. So I think this code is clear. Now let's move to another thing. Now guys, the next step is probably easy because we've been doing it across a lot of lectures. We just need to define a Python like an LLM, right? So we have defined an LLM and we have defined a chatbot state. So the state, it is using this state only. It is inheriting it. Okay, and it's not inheriting it. So essentially what we are doing is we are saying that this state will be of the data type state, and this class state is of the data type dict. I mean, not of the type dict. This is of list only, and it will keep on adding messages, right? So this is somewhat similar to pydantic structure, right? So let me explain you what we are doing over here. If you're a little new to Python, or junior Python developer, you will have some difficulty. So guys, see, sometimes we define this class. Let's say you're defining a class, and the class is users. Okay, and you inherit a base class. Okay, so you usually, let's say we are inheriting typed let me just erase it. So you inherit a base class. So let me see, you inherited type dict, and then you type that, yes, let's say id should be there. For the time being, just consider everything as string. Id should be there and name should be there, and this should be str. Okay guys, now what is happening is, once you are defining a function, like the argument or what the function will take, you are saying it should be of the type this. So guys, this is the pydantic way of doing things. So pydantic is already a little abstract, and you're building on top of abstract, right? So there is a little bit abstraction involved. So that's why sometimes things become little confusing, specifically for new people, because yeah, I mean, you usually are not used to not doing Python in the pydantic way, but input validation is a very prominent feature for anyone who's worked in API development. But you don't need to worry about it. See guys, you don't need to worry because Langgraph has given you this feature, right? That all you need to do is you need to just start by doing this. Most of the times you'll be using type dict only, right? So you're inheriting it, defining the state, and then you're saying that the first argument state would be of the data type state. That's it. And then guys, simple, you are saying llm dot invoke state messages. We are saying from this messages. That's it, pretty much it, right? State, this is the state, and this has messages. This is of the data type list, and add messages would keep on adding and appending messages over here. Now this is clear. So guys, now comes the first thing where we add nodes to our graph. Very simple guys, just add node function, and we are adding a node to our graph. Nodes are what? Nodes are nothing but Python functions which we have defined. Now we are defining edges. So what does an edge do? So edge connects nodes. So the start would get connected to chatbot, and your chatbot would get connected to end. Simple, guys. This is a simple chatbot, so let's just consider this only. Then using the dot compile, you can essentially compile what you have built, and then using this mermaid chart feature, you can see what we have built. And now guys, you can just use it. Simple. So for using it, it's simple. They are calling a while true loop, an infinite loop, and as and when the user is gonna enter, quit, exit, or queue, it's gonna break. Otherwise, it's gonna go inside this stream graph updates, and essentially what it is doing, it is saying that the user input is of the data types str, and for event and graph dot stream messages are role user input. So role is user and content is user input, so the message you will be passing would go inside here. And then for value in event dot values, so what are we saying, that the values would get into this event loop, and it would basically, this loop is to run this chatbot. Okay, now you will say, sir, from where did you find this code? And also guys, I have, as I said, this is little abstract representation, so sometimes a lot of coding you will not be doing, you would be using some documentation. So guys, see, here is the documentation, and this is the place from where you also need to use the code and tweak it a bit based on your use case. Now let's just try to see. We have built a graph, and now this is the basic streaming code. What does streaming code means? Now see guys, we need to use this at as well, right? So we'll keep on using it. That's pretty much it. It's just we are taking the user input and we are just passing it onto the graph that we have built. See guys, graph.stream. Tell me, is it difficult? It's not difficult, but yes, at a micro level the representation is little abstract. So let's just try to run this. What will happen if we say hi? So how can I help you today? And let's just say poem on maths. So let's just print q. So it ended, right? So guys, you're able to see that how efficiently using the graph.stream method we were able to just run our chatbot in the most simplest manner. Now let's just go over here to this and quickly revise whatever concepts that we have done today. So guys, whenever you're doing Langgraph, make sure that you understand these concepts in depth, because only thing that you can master is basics, rest all is documentation and just playing around with stuff. The first thing is nodes. Is you need to understand what nodes are. These are nothing, these are Python functions which you can write, right? You have been doing this from long, but as I said last time also, whenever you're writing these type of Python functions, make sure that uh, you write it in a proper way. That means let's say whatever is your function name, let's just define function name, then properly define the data type over here, properly define the output type over here, and properly write the doc string as well. So all these things are very very important guys, and all of the functionalities, this is the main thing that you would be doing. First of all, writing Python functions. Now guys, you need to know about edges. So edges will help me connect nodes, right? So here we had a start edge, we connected to our assistant, and then we connected the assistant to end. Now tell me guys, we are doing it via, how was this and this getting connected? This is done with the help of edge, and again edge. Now this is something you need to know. And guys, I also shown you very important things specifically for pydantic structure, that how you need to just like have a part inside the, right? You need to define a class and then just make sure that the input is of that data type. So just make sure of that, and don't worry guys, don't worry. Actually this all you can do directly from the documentation as well, and you can ask few things to me. One, you can ask that if I need to create a chatbot, why don't I just use a simple llm.invoke, which we have been doing, And then let's say in order to maintain chat history, use a simple Python list. Guys, this is possible. This will work, I think, even more efficient than Langgraph. But guys, we are on the basics of Langgraph, right? Lately, if you were to implement some very complex agents, right? Complex agents, then if you would follow an approach which I have shown you, like in the past, I'll show you. Let's just go to the README file. In over here, guys, until over here, I haven't used any framework. It's all pure Python. Is it working? Yes. Can you improve the code over here and make it work in production and bigger systems as well? Yes. But what if you need to make a very complex agent? Then you would need Langgraph. And I know complex agents are not yet in production in any of the organization. They are mostly built along these lines only. And yes, but you need to stay ahead of the curve and be aware, right? There are a lot of things which Langgraph will help you do. I know that it seems a little abstract at first, but I'm doing my level in order to in order to explain you. And don't worry, guys. Very soon on my YouTube channel, I will be starting a fast API playlist as well. So a big announcement. I'll be starting a detailed fast API playlist as well. So you can also understand backend development as well. So essentially, guys, you would be using these type of things only in future. I don't think other kind of functionalities and features would remain, but this is an important feature. And once you more or less understands more things, you would be able to orchestrate and relate all these things, right? So if you have worked with object relation mapping kind of a thing, so you would understand that why it needs to be of a particular data type and how that is an abstract representation. But you don't need to. If you need to, then it's good, right? If you want to go in depth of stuff and understand. Otherwise, guys, if you need to implement a chatbot and you want to use Langgraph, then what is stopping you to use this documentation directly and just maybe copy paste the code and change the system message and everything based on your requirements? So guys, that's going to work. That has been working for the last 30 years. That's how the industry works. You can also do it. Thank you, guys, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel.